It's Good Friday. If you're watching this on Good Friday morning, note that this evening we'll be gathering from our distance in our homes to come together online to lament, to feel the grief and sorrow of these times, and to do that with the one who weeps with us. For now, though, you might want to find a quiet space away from distractions and just come with me back to the night before Jesus dies, to a long night of tears in a garden, to friends who cannot stay awake and the agony of a man who knows what comes in the morning. As I read from Mark's Gospel, take time to notice. What do you notice afresh? What words stand out to you? What resonates with you today as I read these words? They went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus says to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled. "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death," he said to them. "Stay here and keep watch." Going a little further, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible the hour might pass from him. "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Simon," he said to Peter, "are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Once more he went away and prayed the same thing. When he came back, he found again they were sleeping because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say to him. Returning the third time, he said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough. The hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." I should give you fair warning as we start. This isn't going to be a happy devotional. It's Good Friday, and although it has the words good in the title, it's a day of horrific sadness and pain. A day when it looked like all was lost. A day when, for the first time in eternity, the Trinity was torn apart. A day when everything looked bleak. And the story of pain and sorrow is one that has dwelt with me all my life. It speaks to me on so many levels. It's been balm to my troubled, weary, full of pain soul on many occasions. I've been comforted by knowing we have one who knows isolation, who knows pain and grief and sorrow. We have one who knows how long the night can get, who knows high stress and anxiety. We have a God who knows the sorrow of being human so well, who lived in the pain of unanswered sorrow, who dwells in the space between the question and the answer, holding the tension between despair and hope, coming into our in-between lives and knowing how it feels. We have a God who is a friend, a brother, who has walked into the darkness with us and for us. On Good Friday, we need to know that lament is something that is a good thing. It is good to stop in this garden with Jesus in fear for his life. It is good to know that these moments are our moments too. We have a God who has felt deep pain, and he knows us in our deep pain. He doesn't ask us to smile and get on with life, but he wants us to be honest about the stuff inside us. It's good to lament. And lots of the time it's good to lament without the caveats that we like to put in place of, "Oh God, we know you are good, we know it's springtime and the sun is shining and everything will be okay, I'm sure." Often we jump too quickly to the end of the story. We cover our pain with the, "Oh, but some good might be happening in the midst of it. There are positives out there. I shouldn't be so negative." No, that might be a strategy that works sometimes for some people. The danger is we don't feel our emotions. There have been many times in the last few years when I've just had to feel the pain of what life has brought us, the griefs, the unmet expectations, the sadness, the brokenness. I find if I cover it with a veneer of, "Oh, I shouldn't feel like this," or "it's not so bad really," then actually I do myself a disservice and I just push the emotions down further and further. And eventually it's far more messy than if I just said, "Look, I feel like this and it really hurts." For me, Gethsemane gives me permission to feel the dark emotions in my soul. To know that Jesus wanted to jack it all in and stop what was happening and could articulate that and feel that without shame is incredibly helpful to me, and I hope it's incredibly helpful to you as well. And so today, in some, not a weird way, but I just want to invite you to feel some of the pain in life at the moment, to notice the dark emotions in your soul, to not jump to the, "Oh, but it's sunny and it's a nice day and I'm not in this situation," but to honestly just say how you're really feeling, to acknowledge the feelings and feel them. to say hello to them, allow them expression. Because in an odd way, I think that's somehow that's where hope is let in through the back door. So we don't have a sticker plaster God who tells us to cheer up because it's going to be all right. We have a God who we can pour out our pain and our fears to. Psalm 88 is one of my favourites, which if you know me, you'll know why. Because it doesn't end with a nice cheery, oh, God's real, isn't it great? Some of the Psalms of Lament do end with that. They go through very real trauma, and then they reach the end and go, oh, there is God, there you are, God. But Psalm 88 just lets us sit in the darkness. It ends in pain. He ends by simply saying, you have taken from me neighbour and friend. Darkness is my closest friend. That's the end of the psalm. And I think that tells us it's okay to sit in the pain and to feel the sorrow. And although we like the nice optimistic endings, lots of the time we don't know when they're coming, or we just don't have them. But we do have a God who we can swear at, we can rant and rave at, we can punch the walls with as we feel the pain and sorrow of this world. God is with us in this pain. God is right here, even when we feel like Psalm 88, that He's taken our loved ones from us, especially in this time. He's taken our neighbours from us. We can't even go and hang out with our friends anymore. Even when we feel like blaming God and saying, God, why have you done this? I don't even know if it is God's fault, but why have you done this? We have a God who we can cry out to in the midst of this pain. We can feel the pain and we can cry out to God in the midst of it. A song which these verses always remind me of is a song called Hard to Get by Rich Mullins. Now, it slightly spoils things by having a vaguely hopeful ending, but most of it is a tired, weary man trying to figure God out and concluding that he is just very hard to get. And I'll leave you with the words of this song, and maybe actually it would probably be a good idea if you went on YouTube and types in Hard to Get by Rich Mullins and listened to it. But the words are just so profound and so helpful. And as I read it, just ask Jesus to show you how to lament today. How can you feel what you're feeling? It might be some words that stand out to you, which you want to just take into your day. It might be that you want to write something. It might be that you just want to go and cry somewhere 2 meters away from somebody else. It might be you just want to get honest about the pain and take that pain to God. And maybe sense more of the one who weeps with you in the garden. So this is Hard to Get by Rich Mullins. You who live in heaven, hear the prayers of those of us who live on earth, who are afraid of being left by those we love and who get hardened by the hurt. Do you remember when you lived down here, where we all scrape to find the faith to ask for daily bread? Did you forget about us after you had flown away? Well, I memorised every word you said. Still, I'm so scared I'm holding my breath, while you're up there just playing hard to get. You who live in radiance, hear the prayers of those of us who live in skin. We have a love that's not as patient as yours was. But still we do love now and then. Did you ever know loneliness? Did you ever know need? Do you remember just how long a night can get when you were barely holding on and your friends fell asleep and don't see the blood that's running in your sweat? Will those who mourn be left uncomforted while you're up there just playing hard to get? And I know you bore our sorrows, and I know you feel our pain, and I know it would not hurt any less, even if it could be explained. And I know that I am only lashing out at the one who loves me most. And after I've figured this somehow, all I really need to know is if you who live in eternity hear the prayers of those of us who live in time. We can't see what's ahead, and we cannot get free of what we've left behind. I'm reeling from these voices that keep screaming in my ears, all the words of shame and doubt, blame and regret. I can't see how you're leading me unless you've led me here, where I'm lost enough to let myself be led. And so you've been here all along, I guess. It's just your ways. You are just plain hard to get. As you press pause or stop on the video, take some time to pour out your sorrows to this hard to get God who wept in a garden for you.